LÍVE is an American rock band from York, Pennsylvania, composed of Chad Taylor, Patrick Dahlheimer, Chad Gracey, and Chris Shinn. LÍVE's original lead singer Ed Kowalczyk left the band in November 2009. ʻlaɪv achieved worldwide success with their 1994 album, Throwing Copper, which has sold 8 million copies in the US. The band had a string of hit singles in the mid-1990s including Lightning Crashes, which stayed at the top of the Billboard Hot Mainstream Rock Tracks chart for 10 consecutive weeks and the Modern Rock Tracks chart for 9 weeks from February 25 to April 22, 1995. The band has sold over 20 million albums worldwide. Their last 3 studio albums fared only moderately well in the US, but they continue to enjoy success in the Netherlands, South Africa, Australasia and Brazil. When touring, LÍVE have used additional musicians, most notably Ed's younger brother Adam Kowalczyk on rhythm guitar and backing vocals. British keyboard player Michael "Relo" Railton and guitarist Christopher Thorne of the band Blind Melon have also toured with LÍVE. On November 30, 2009, Chad Taylor revealed that what had initially been termed a 2-year hiatus was more likely the end of the band, due to what he felt were inappropriate actions by Ed Kowalczyk, which have resulted in a lawsuit being filed against him by the other 3 band members. Kowalczyk alleged that he wrote most of the music for LÍVE and a new publishing arrangement had been accepted by all members of the group in 2006. In June 2011, Taylor revealed that he, Gracey and Dahlheimer were to reform LÍVE without Kowalczyk, who confirmed that he would not work with the other 3 again. In March 2012, Chris Shinn, formerly of the band Unified Theory, replaced Kowalczyk as lead singer. The band's first album featuring Shinn, The Turn, will be released on October 28, 2014. History, Early History and Mental Jewelry, 1988 to Euro 1992, Kowalczyk, Taylor, Dahlheimer and Gracey joined together at a middle school talent show in York, Pennsylvania. They remained together throughout high school, playing new wave covers under band names such as First Aid, Club Fungus, Paisley Blues, Action Front, and Body Odor Boys. Eventually they settled on the name Public Affection and recorded a self-released cassette of original songs, The Death of a Dictionary, in 1989. In 1990 they released an EP of demos produced by Jay Healy, titled Divided Mind, Divided Planet, via their Black Coffee mailing list. The band played regular concerts at CBGB in New York City, which helped earn them a contract with Radioactive Records in 1991. Under the new name LÍVE, the band entered the studio with producer Jerry Harrison and recorded the EP 4 songs. The single Operation Spirit went to number 9 on the Modern Rock chart and was followed by their debut album, 1991's Mental Jewelry, which Harrison again produced. Pat Dahlheimer said, "So important to have somebody else in the room to help us, especially with arrangements. I mean, we were still learning how to write songs. Jerry just seemed to know everything. This guy's a wizard." Some of the album's lyrics, written by Kowalczyk, were inspired by Indian philosopher and writer Jiddu Krishnamurti. Throwing Copper and mainstream success, 1993 Euro 1996, after appearances on the MTV 120 Minutes Tour, at Woodstock 94 and on Peter Gabriel's WOMAD Tour, LÍVE's second album, Throwing Copper, achieved mainstream success. The album featured the singles I Alone, All Over You, and the #1 US modern rock hit Selling the Drama, and Lightning Crashes. Lightning Crashes also stayed at the top of the Billboard Hot Mainstream Rock Tracks chart for 10 consecutive weeks. The band appeared on NBC's Saturday Night Live, where they performed I Alone, and Selling the Drama. The success of the singles eventually gained Throwing Copper the #1 position on the Billboard 200 album chart on May 6, 1995, its 52nd week on the chart. It was the third longest gap between an album first charting and reaching #1, behind Fleetwood Mac's Fleetwood Mac in 1976 and Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl in 1989. It is LÍVE's best-selling album, having sold 8 million copies in the US alone. In 1995 the band appeared on MTV Unplugged. Their set included a cover version of Vickers Nuts' Supernatural. Secrets Are Made in the Distance to Hear, 1997 Euro 2000, the success of Throwing Copper meant that 1997 Secret Samadhi debuted at number 1 on the US album chart. It took its name from Samadhi, a state of Hindu meditation. The album contained 4 modern rock hit singles, but failed to match its predecessor's success, with sales reaching 2 million. The band performed Lakshmi's Juice and Arusika Dreamer from the album on Saturday Night Live. Jerry Harrison returned as co-producer for 1999's The Distance to Here, which entered the US album chart at number 4 and featured the hit single The Dolphins Cry. In 2000, LÍVE embarked on a co-headlining tour with Counting Crows. On that tour, Counting Crows lead singer Adam Duritz often joined LÍVE for their performance of The Dolphins Cry, while Kowalczyk sang a verse of Hangin' Around with Counting Crows. Birds of Prey and Awake, the best of LÍVE, 2001 Euro 2004. On September 18, 2001, the experimental V was released to mixed reviews. The first single was Simple Creed, which featured a rap from Tricky, but the events of 9/11, which occurred a week before V was released, meant that the melancholic Overcome received significant airplay and became the album's selling point. V reached number 22 in the US. Also in 2001, LÍVE contributed a live version of the song I Alone to the charity album Live in the X Lounge 4. Overcome was used at the end of the second season finale of The Shield. In May 2003, the band released the Jim Wyatt-produced, Birds of Prey, which reached number 28 on the US album chart, boosted by the unexpected success of the single Heaven, LÍVE's first US Hot 100 hit single since The Dolphins Cry. In November 2004, LÍVE released a greatest hits compilation, Awake, the best of LÍVE. Awake included We Deal in Dreams, a previously unreleased song from the Throwing Copper sessions, a cover version of Johnny Cash's I Walk the Line, and a new version of their song Runaway with Shelby Lynne sharing lead vocals with Ed Kowalczyk. A deluxe version of the album included a DVD with 22 music videos and an interview with Ed Kowalczyk. Songs from Black Mountain, Radiant Sea and LÍVE DVD, 2005 Euro 2008. In 2005, LÍVE signed to Sony BMG Music Entertainment's Epic label. They released the album Songs from Black Mountain in June 2006. The album peaked at number 52 on the Billboard 200 album chart, and reached number 3 on the Billboard Independent Album chart. The first single was The River. On Season 5 of American Idol, finalist Chris Daughtry was accused of performing LÍVE's version of Johnny Cash's I Walk the Line, and claiming it as his own interpretation. A week later, Daughtry acknowledged this was true and said that LÍVE was one of his favorite bands. In May 2006, LÍVE appeared on The Howard Stern Show to address this issue. On August 2, 2008, Daughtry and LÍVE performed LÍVE's interpretation of I Walk the Line together at the Toms River Fest in Toms River, New Jersey. On September 14, 2007, the band released Radiant Sea, a collection of bootleg rarities and 2 new songs, their first album since 1989 on their own Action Front Records label. The new songs were Beautiful and Visible, and Radiant Sea. LÍVE recorded their first concert DVD in the Netherlands during 2 shows at the Paradiso on June 30 and July 1, 2008. LÍVE at the Paradiso, Amsterdam was released on November 11, 2008 on DVD and CD. Also in 2008 the band headlined a US tour which also featured Blues Traveler and Collective Soul. An unreleased live song, Hold Me Up, features in the 2008 Kevin Smith film Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Smith said, I first heard in a 95 euros when we were putting together the Mallrats soundtrack. It was actually in the film for the first test screening, but LÍVE decided they wanted to hold on to it as a potential single off their next album. When I was editing Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I put in a request for it. Again, I was denied. Third time, apparently, was the charm. Needed a song for that sequence in Zack and Miri and remembered the LÍVE track. This time, the band signed off on us using the track. Took 13 years, but was worth the wait. In spite of Smith's endorsement, the song does not appear on the movie's soundtrack album. Kowalczyk's departure. After a concert at the Palazzo in Las Vegas in June 2009, LÍVE announced that the band would take a 2-year hiatus to work on other projects. Kowalczyk recorded his solo album ʻlaɪv, and the other band members formed a group with Kevin Martin and Sean Hennessy of Candlebox called The Gracious Few. That band proceeded to record a self-titled debut album in California for release in September 2010. On November 30, 2009, Taylor revealed that the hiatus was more likely a permanent split. He alleged that the reasons for the breakup included Kowalczyk's demand of a $100,000 lead singer bonus at the 2009 Pink Pop Festival and a 2005 contract making Kowalczyk the sole signatory of LÍVE's Black Coffee publishing company without the knowledge of the rest of the band. These sentiments were conveyed in an email to fans from the band via the mailing list at freeendsoftlive.com and on Chad Taylor's official blog. Taylor did, however, leave open the possibility of LÍVE reforming with a new vocalist. At the end of May 2010, the other 3 members of LÍVE filed a lawsuit against Kowalczyk and their former business manager in the New York State Supreme Court. Kowalczyk was asked about the lawsuit in a September 2010 interview but declined to elaborate, saying, "There is a case that is pending, which is why I really don't want to get into it." In June 2011, Kowalczyk told the Salt Lake Tribune, "I had simply come to the end of a chapter in my life and wanted to spread my wings and move beyond what I had been doing, in the same way, for almost 20 years. As far as the allegations that were leveled at me and purported as the reason for the breakup, they were all absolutely untrue. I have no plans to work with those individuals again. The spirit of LÍVE is alive and well in my performances and my new material." In November 2013, Kowalczyk opened up further about the split to Rolling Stone, noting that the band had agreed to a new publishing arrangement in 2006 in anticipation of Kowalczyk's future plans for a solo career, and legal action only commenced in 2009 at the beginning of the announced hiatus. LÍVE's return with Chris Shinn as lead singer. On June 8, 2011, Chad Taylor revealed that he, Dahlheimer and Gracey will be restarting the band and recording new songs without Kowalczyk. He made no mention of any potential new lead singer, but said that, "We'll have to begin addressing the hole left by our singer's departure." He added that, "I need to feel LÍVE once again without the constraints that were placed on it over the last few years. Chad, Patrick and I invested most of our lives to writing, recording and performing the songs of LÍVE. We deserve a chance to reconnect with the fans, to say goodbye to the old era and hello to the new." Kowalczyk was critical of the new lineup, noting that they obfuscate that it's not the real band. "They don't say that it's not the original lineup. They just kind of go out and surprise people, and it's really sort of lame." On January 24, 2012, Taylor, Dahlheimer and Gracey announced that they were leading members in a project to renovate a 4-story building at 210 York Street in York. 3 floors will house a technology company, creating 60 new jobs. The building will also include a brand new recording studio. The band returned from their nearly 3-year hiatus on March 12, 2012, with Chris Shinn, formerly of Unified Theory, as their new lead singer. The new lineup performed before an invited audience at the Strand Capitol Performing Arts Centre in York. The band performed as a 6-piece with the Gracious Few's Sean Hennessy on guitar and Alexandre Lefebvre on keyboards. In July 2012, LÍVE commenced more legal proceedings against Ed Kowalczyk, this time for misuse of the band's name while promoting his live performances. LÍVE's first major tour with Shinn was as part of the Summerland Tour 2013, playing 35 shows across the U.S. Other featured bands were Everclear, Filter and Sponge. The Turn, the first album to feature Chris Shinn, The Turn, is scheduled for release on October 28, 2014. The album's first single, The Way Around Is Through, was uploaded to YouTube on September 10, 2014 and was officially released on September 16. Band members: current members, Patrick Dahlheimer Euro bass guitar, backing vocals, Chad Gracey Euro drums, percussion, backing vocals, Chad Taylor Euro lead guitar, backing vocals, Chris Shinn Euro lead vocals, rhythm guitar. Former members: Ed Kowalczyk Euro lead vocals, rhythm guitar. Touring musicians: Christopher Thorne Euro rhythm guitar, backing vocals, Adam Kowalczyk Euro rhythm guitar, backing vocals, Michael Relo Railtner Euro keyboards, backing vocals, Sean Haneu Euro rhythm guitar, backing vocals, Alexander Lefevre Euro keyboards, backing vocals. Discography: Mental Jewelry, Throwing Copper, Secrets Amade, The Distance to Hear, v. Birds of Prey, Songs from Black Mountain, The Turn. See also: List of alternative rock artists, List of artists who reached number 1 on the U.S. Alternative Rock Chart, List of artists who reached number 1 on the U.S. Mainstream Rock Chart, List of Epic Records artists, List of hard rock musicians, List of post-grunge bands. References. External links: Official website, YouTube.